Hey everybody, it's Matt here, and I'm here along with.
Tristan.
And today we are talking about yet another TIE for AniSaturday. It is Toonami's The Return. And this one was very, very, very short. Not much to talk about here, but because it is and I cannot believe it is actually the 25th anniversary of Toonami. Their first broadcast was March 17th, 1997. We are recording this in April, which is early for us. Actually, we're recording this literally a month to the date. Right now, as we started this recording, it's April 17th. And it is just so cool.
Toonami has riseth again.
Right, yes, we are recording this on Easter. I forgot. Yes, it is Easter. Yes.
Do you have a moment to speak of our Lord and Savior Tom and
Yeah,
Sarah?
it takes him three parts to come back always. Um, and so by part three he returns. And but when it comes to Toonami, I think it's just so interesting to think about, because you and I were Toonami kids. You and I are both 29, so we did not see. I'm pretty sure you've told me this before, and we've both talked about our experiences with Toonami before. But because this is so short, we're going to talk about them yet again, just a little bit, especially for some of you new fans listening in. And I don't believe, though, Tristan, you were watching during Toonami's first broadcast, right?
No.
Okay, so yeah, for me, I actually started. I could swear if I was what the age that I believe that I was, which I always used to think I was 5, but then I realized once I saw the dates of when DBZ actually came to the US, I was like, oh, I was 7. So I was 5 when I first got into Pokemon, but I was 7 when I first got into Dragon Ball Z, and that was through Toonami, which means that was 1999, which
Right.
means that it was about 2 years. So Tom was actually running Toonami, I believe, in 99.
Yeah.
And it was because originally it was Moltar,
Yeah, on the
um,
moon base.
on the moon base, yes. And so did you know about Moltar growing up or no?
Growing up, no. I don't remember when I learned of that incarnation, but
I'm pretty sure I remember one day flipping channels. I saw Moltar. I said, "What the hell?" And then I switched off. He was weird to me. Like he was very bulgy.
yeah.
Like his CG was very bulgy, and it was just weird to me as a kid. And
Oh yeah.
I must have been 6. So I was like, "Nope." And then I backed off. And then because I just saw a bumper or something, and his voice also was very deep.
Yeah.
He was a creepy dude if you're a kid, like really
Yeah, I
young.
I could have sworn I could be wrong, but wasn't he supposed to be a villain in Space Ghost?
Yes, you are
Yeah.
correct. Now,
Okay.
I say that before Googling, so I could be very wrong. However,
Well, yeah.
when I Google Moltar, it auto completed to Space Ghost. So
So yeah,
thank
I'm
you,
not far off.
thank you, CIA. Um, so a lot of Moltar fans in the CIA. So FBI, whichever one's listening in, to all of our recordings. The point is that those are our few listeners, by the way. Just the lovely people listening in at the CIA, and all of you out there. But yeah, so you're correct though. Yes, he is from Space Ghost, and not familiar with Space Ghost because it was before my time, and it was one of those things where early Cartoon Network, I did watch a lot of stuff that was early Cartoon Network because like I'm pretty sure when did with the launch of Cartoon Network, I'm pretty sure it's am I older than Cartoon Network? I always forget if I am or not. Because it launched when we were really young. So I think like
Yeah,
we're older than it, but barely, if I remember
barely.
correctly.
Yeah.
But when I think of early Cartoon Network, I think of Looney Tunes because Ted Turner bought out that library to launch Cartoon Network.
Right. Yeah.
Wow, that's hilarious. Oh my fucking god, that's really fucking funny. I'm so sorry to do this to you. I
Uh-huh.
am older than Cartoon Network. You are not.
Huh.
I I literally was born September 1st, 1992. It launched October 1st, 1992.
Huh. Yeah, and I'm November 4th, 1992.
Cartoon Network, that old middle child. Sorry, Cartoon Network. God, that's so funny. But yeah, so again, barely older, but I definitely did not. I'm one of those. at the time kids that I don't look back and I go, oh, I miss when they had Johnny Quest. No, I just straight up missed all of that. Like I would flip channels and see Johnny Quest, and I was like, not for me. Even though I loved Scooby Doo and I loved, other Warner Brothers cartoons, Looney Tunes, and things like that, for some reason Johnny Quest never pulled me in.
Yeah, I I know my dad liked Johnny Quest.
I really
Um,
did enjoy Captain Planet, but
yeah, I
on and
saw a little
off,
bit of Captain Planet.
on and off, yeah.
I saw a little bit of Space Ghost and Johnny Quest, like here and there.
But it didn't really feel like it was. I don't know about you. I'll just talk about myself. It didn't feel like it was my thing. Maybe looking back, if I go back and watch it now, I'll fucking love it. But at the
I think you
time,
would, yeah.
yeah. But at the time, Space Ghost and Johnny Quest didn't really pull me in. A lot, the earlier action cartoons on the Toonami block didn't really get me. And when it came to Dragon Ball Z, I didn't even know what it was when I first turned it on. I didn't know that this was like some hit sensation. For any of you younger anime fans out there, it's, I don't want to patronize you, but like, I'm sure you've heard this. No, because I'm sure they've heard this before about like, oh, a time before the internet, what we knew it as. But like, really though, like, imagine a world. I have to do the movie trailer voice. Imagine a world.
In a world,
There is no Twitter.
there is no Twitter.
There is no YouTube.
There is no YouTube.
There's just no streaming whatsoever.
And no streaming
I'm
whatsoever.
fucking upset that you can do that so well.
One man, one
Boy, oh
boy.
yeah, that was really just my face on a on a very small child. My face now, just the beard, the hair, and everything on a very small child, um, around the same height that I am now.
Oh,
Uh, so no, it's just one of those things where, you don't like, unless you have a magazine, unless you have like an older brother, or I mean, I talk about at my age. Remember that at this point I'm 7.
yeah,
Obviously, yeah, people that are older than me who are in the scene, they know what's up. They've probably been trading VHS tapes for DBZ. They, watched Dragon Ball back in the day, just like with Japanese superhero stuff. Dragon Ball also aired in Hawaii, subbed in English. I don't know if they got through the whole series, but I do know that a certain batch of episodes did air in Hawaii on TV with English subs. So it's not like people didn't know what Dragon Ball was in the US. Don't get that twisted. Sometimes people around our age paint it as, or not just our age, any age, when they discovered anime, they paint it as, and before us, nobody knew. It's like, no, no, no. People knew, but we sure
yeah,
as fuck didn't know.
right.
And people around our age most likely did not know unless they had someone older who was an anime fan from back in the day, from the 70s and 80s, back in the day for us. Someone who was telling them what's up, or if, they were potentially in a part of the US that aired that stuff. But for you and I, anime was new when it came to Pokemon and when it came to Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon.
And Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh was, yeah, 2000, 2001. But in the 90s for us, late 90s, it was the Pokemon craze. It was the Dragon Ball Z craze. Literally, it's
Yeah,
interesting how they built off of one another.
yeah,
And then into Yu-Gi-Oh. Not that Dragon Ball Z wasn't popular when Yu-Gi-Oh came out, but really it kind of built off of each other, kind of building up anime for our generation, for our younger generation. The
yeah,
weird age that's like, we're only a few years off from being Gen Z, like the oldest of Gen Z. We're only a few years off,
yeah.
but we are millennials. But it's very strange because when you talk about millennials nowadays, people are like, yeah, millennial, I'm pushing 40. And you and I are 29. We're like, no. But still, so what was your experience discovering that it was Toonami for the first time?
Oh, I guess I was probably flipping around channels. I flipped back and forth between like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon.
Sam.
Um, Not so much Disney yet. That came a little bit later. Um, But yeah, mostly Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, and I think I just at a time slot where I was usually watching Nick, I flipped over to Cartoon Network at one point, like after school or something, and I think I caught a glimpse of DBZ, and I think it was one of the first episodes. I think it was Piccolo and Goku fighting Raditz, and it was completely different from anything that I'd seen, any other cartoons that I was watching at the time. Um, I'm pretty sure it was when Goku fired his Kamehameha wave at Raditz. And I was like, did that guy just shoot a fireball out of his hand?
Shoot some freaking laser beams out of his freaking
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I think I probably made a Star Wars parallel. I'm like, did he? It looks like he just shot a lightsaber energy out of his, because it was blue. I was like, did he just shoot like you said, like a laser out of his hands? What the fuck is going on right now?
I just want to take that one quote you said, like it reminded me of Star Wars, and I'm thinking of you as like a 5 or 7, no, like a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, and you're talking about like, yeah, it was like Star Wars, and I was like, did he just shoot a fuck? Because you paused at a moment before, and I just hit like, oh my, just Luke Skywalker, he just shot a fuck. No, but yeah, it looks like did he use the Force?
Yeah, or like just like the same energy that would like come out of a lightsaber. I'm like, that's what is, and then I realized he's in the air, and he's not even just like a little bit in the air. He's way up in the air. I'm like, what is happening?
So,
And
how old
yeah,
were
I
you?
was kind of captivated. I was a little scared, but I was also like really captivated. I'm like, what is going on?
So, how old were you at the time? 7 or 8?
It must have been somewhere in there.
Okay, because I could swear the reason why I've told the story for years, and the rest of it I believe, but the one thing that always threw me off when I was younger was I thought I was way younger than I actually was. So I remember telling the story for years. I was like, I was 5 years old. And then when I looked it up, DBZ didn't come out in the US till 99.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they tried putting it on UPN a few years earlier, but it didn't really sink in until they had the dub on Toonami on that weekly block, and they
On the
had it.
weekly block.
Yeah, and they had it. I mean, technically, all anime in the U.S. is technically in syndication, but like the way they did it was like daily syndication, which.
Right.
Honest to God is like the best way to watch a show like DBZ. The editing wasn't the best, of course, but in terms of watching a show like DBZ on a daily basis, one episode each versus 296 episodes, no, 90, it's always, I think it's 96.
Somewhere in there.
Yes. Episodes weekly.
Yeah.
The pace of the show, even though obviously we know why now it was done that way, of course, but at the time, having it come out daily, it was just an amazing thing to see. Like you mentioned after school, and I'll tell my story in a little bit, but just you mentioned after school, coming home after school, the perfect time to see the block. It was from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, which meant that no matter where you were in the US, unless you had extracurriculars, you were home by the time the block started.
Right, yeah. And it ended just before dinner, so you were good to go.
Yeah, it was perfect. And even if your dinner is at 5:30, you missed the half an hour, the last part.
Yeah, right.
But that block being from 4 to 6 was perfect.
Yeah, and I think that builds off a point, like you said before. Like there were definitely people who were into anime and watching it, like even as Toonami first aired, like they had that midnight block on the weekends, I believe it was.
But and that was for the older crowd, the crowd that was already like they knew what was up. I mean, it's not like,
they were like either like early or late teens at that point, like
or older. Older, yeah, because we have to remember, not only were because when we think of like, it's not just, even though of course we can think of your dad. I'm pretty sure you've mentioned that your dad used to watch Gigantor and Astro Boy, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
Exactly. But even putting him aside, there was a group of fans of like Captain Harlock and Legend of the Galactic Heroes and stuff like that. Like there were fans who would like go out and cosplay and do cons. There's some pics of some cons from like the 70s where some fans, so you had like fanzines and shit. So the same way that like Star Trek survived once the original series died, in similar ways other anime like got around and people knew about it. So it's not like it was like, I don't want to say the phrase, oh, it was more mainstream when, when we saw it, because technically, like, if it's on TV, it's mainstream.
Yeah, it's already mainstream enough.
Yes.
But
Now,
I guess the best way to put it is just getting new blood into
oh, of
the
course.
realm.
No,
Yeah.
you have to. I think that's the. You have to describe it like that. Like, I don't think anyone can say, no, 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 you didn't get new blood. What do you mean? We were seven.
Yeah.
We were 7 years old. There were kids that were a little bit younger than us, kids a little bit older than us, who were getting into this stuff for the first time and seeing it en masse, because there were other
Yeah.
anime blocks. There was also a sci-fi channel block around the
Yeah.
same time. You and I didn't see it because it started at like 9 p.m. So
Yeah.
we were
Also,
already
I'm pretty sure it was older audience type of stuff too.
well, that's what I'm saying. It started at 9 p.m. for a reason.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit like Midnight Run, but it aired some more esoteric stuff. Not that it wasn't good, but it was just some stuff that, again, would have been weird to us as kids. And
Right.
even the Midnight Block aired some stuff uncut, or just stuff that they never would have aired during the normal Toonami run.
Yeah.
Or again, if they tried to, they would have heavily edited it, because
Right.
you look at a few years later, once they started airing Yu Yu Hakusho, it's
Yeah.
fascinating how I stayed up later than I should to watch it, but I only saw it on Saturdays, so it was okay. I could stay up a little bit later.
Right.
And while I was watching it, they then shifted it from that late night, hey, everyone get out of the pool, it's time for Adult Swim, which was the old
Right.
Adult Swim bumper.
God.
I don't know if it was the first one they did, but it was definitely one of their
Oh
older.
yeah, one of the earlier ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, it's like, hey, kids, get out of the pool. It's time for Adult Swim. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was like home movies or King of the Hill.
Fucking. Okay, so King of the Hill, I never got into. I probably should rectify that. Home movies I saw when I was younger, and I recently resaw a few episodes again, and it's so weird. No, no, no. Like, it completely captures. This is. I'm thinking of how. Okay, the same way that. So you've seen Bob's Burgers, right?
An episode or two. I haven't seen a lot.
You
I have
notice
friends who have.
you
But...
notice that when you watch it, the three kids, you're like, wow, those are how children act like, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That is how home movies is. Those weird ass kids trying to make their home movies, like, that's how kids speak and how they act, and it's so weird to watch it as an adult and be like, oh god, I was a kid like that, and I've
right.
seen
Yeah,
kids like that. Oh
that's kind
god.
of spot on. It's kind of
Yes.
scary.
And the coach, played by
Rocky, what are you doing?
your cat. Your cat wants to make a
Sorry.
cameo.
Yeah.
So, but when it comes to the coach too, fucking hilarious. John H. Benjamin, I believe, or H. John Benjamin,
Oh yeah.
also
Right.
plays Bob in Bob's Burgers. Fucking hilarious.
Oh
Anyway,
wow, shit, that is his voice. Wow.
oh, you didn't notice?
No,
And he's
it was
Archer.
funny. Yeah, because I heard I heard Bob and Bob's Burgers. I'm like, he sounds so goddamn familiar. Where do I know that voice? I'm like, I know who this is. That's funny.
Hey Tristan.
Yeah.
Hey Tristan.
Yeah.
You're doing good, Tristan.
Oh god. Jesus.
You're doing good. But when it comes to, what I was trying to say is that when it comes to Yu Yu Hakusho, they were airing it on Adult Swim, and then they shifted it over to Toonami, I believe at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
And they actually started editing it, because
Yeah.
it was uncut, nothing raunchy, but it was uncut on Adult Swim, and then they started editing it in different ways during, I'm sure they re-aired it, I believe, but I think they started it as if, like, you knew what was going on.
Right. For the afternoon
I
block.
believe. I could be very much wrong there, but I could swear that they didn't replay it all, or if they did, maybe I just tuned out, because now something started to happen, right? Where Toonami, so at the time I didn't know that corporations owned everything. So, and you didn't either, Tristan. This is relevant, I swear. Uh,
Okay.
and so, no, because at the time, at first, it was like, oh my god, I can't tune out of Toonami. I have to tune in to Toonami.
Right.
But then certain things started replaying, like they would also replay either to dub more Dragon Ball Z, or just for some other reason they wanted to take some kind of break.
Yeah.
They would end up doing reruns. Now,
Right.
for Dragon Ball Z, I would tune in again, because I'll talk about my story in a little bit. But my story, I didn't start off with the first episode of DBZ when I tuned in and saw it. But when it came to Yu Hakusho, if they did re-air it, then of course I'd already had seen that for the most part on Adult Swim. So
Right.
that's when I tune into the Kids WB.
Right. Yeah, that was another one that I was also because their Pokemon was there. So
But what's so funny is, again, this is where what I just said comes into play. I didn't know that both were Warner Media.
right. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure at the time Toonami was Warner. Like, because, Ted Turner
Because
owned.
yeah, Cartoon Network
Yes.
was yeah it
Yeah.
was
And
Turner Media.
exactly. Yeah. So, the reason why I say this is because of the fact that I remember once I felt so confused. I don't want to say I felt betrayed, but I was a kid, so maybe I felt betrayed. I don't know if you remember this. Tom, like, hosted Kids WB,
Yeah, they had a crossover event. The Absolution like came out of a wormhole and nearly crashed into the tower.
which sounds, yeah.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, it was very strange. I love how
like
this.
you
I love how this TIE is like wormhole shit, and you and I are like been there, done that.
like it was hilarious. Well, because there was one of the other TIEs was getting trapped in an alternate dimension in a wormhole, and yet the kids WB animated tower walking around and trying to dodge the absolution was so much weirder in hindsight.
Well, because they did weird CG with the kids WB stuff. I think that might
Yeah,
be why. But what I wanted to get to though was is that now I'm like, oh my god, they're both owned by Warner. But at the time, I'm like, what is Tom doing here? What
yeah,
business does he have with these Animaniacs?
yeah.
And
That.
like what is happening here? It didn't make sense to me, which is really funny. And now I'm just like, oh. And then guess what? You remember oh god, what's his fuck face? The Crypt Keeper.
Oh God, yeah.
Why
Ooh.
was he on Kids WB, right?
Yeah,
Why?
I did not like that as a child.
Guess what though? Remember, do you know where his show Tales of the Crypt aired?
I don't remember where it aired. No.
HBO.
Huh.
Another
Right.
channel
Time Warner.
owned. Yes. So it all starts to make sense. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong though, right? The Bare Naked Ladies almost technically did not make sense at all. I mean, I guess maybe they were on the Bare Naked Ladies, like the band,
The band. Yeah.
hosted like a week of Kids WB.
Huh. Well, I know their music was in the Digimon movie, but
But
I don't
that's
know if.
Fox, which is weird, right?
Yeah, that's even weirder.
I know.
I don't know. I don't think the Digimon movie came out until quite a few years later.
It was literally like I think 2000,
Oh.
2001.
Oh God. Yeah. Maybe. Oh wow.
Hey Digimon, hey
Well, I
Digimon.
was I was thinking like 2 or 3, but
No,
no,
no, no,
you're
no.
right. It probably was like one. Oh
No,
God.
2004 was well, God, what's the name? Digimon Forever United as One. Which one was that? That was the fourth season, but I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, I kind of dropped off after the third.
Yeah, it was that next one where like they became. Was it Frontier? I forgot the name of it in English.
Oh, maybe.
Um,
Yeah, they kind of fused with their Digimon, and
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
But not
you.
like how they used to. It was they had the armor and then they donned it and became the Digimon.
Yeah,
And
I liked it, but you know why I tuned out as well. When it came to the first two seasons, at least, they were so interconnected, and it was beautiful to see it.
yeah,
And then the third one wasn't, but it still had a very intriguing story and cast.
yeah,
That the fourth one, I was like, I don't hate this, but like, it wasn't drawing me in as much. I think I
yeah,
saw it again a few years later, but at the time it didn't draw me in as much as those first few did. But either way, I want to note that of course they also had the Fox Kid block as well that had mostly American cartoons, but also had some anime as well. And then when I was about 9 or 10, that's also when you had ABC Family come out with their own kind of block, at least during the day. I'm sorry, during the mornings. So before I went to school, I would sometimes see Beyblade, Metabots was on, and also Digimon.
Oh wow,
So
yeah.
I didn't catch Digimon from Fox Kids. I caught Digimon from ABC
See
Family,
family. Huh.
airing them both before school and after school. They also had like a kind of rival-ish to Toonami block. They didn't call it a specific block. There was no
Yeah.
ABC Family like robot that was like beep boop bop, hug your mother. Like there was no, like I don't know what the ABC Family bot would say or do. But yeah, like there was nothing like that. But there was, I believe, kind of like a counter block
Yeah,
of certain
definitely.
anime after school. So like I would jump between a few different blocks, and I think I could swear Fox Kids also had one during the day. I just did not watch it. Maybe I saw it a little bit of it for Power Rangers, but in
Yeah.
general, I don't think I have no recollection of watching a weekday Fox Kids block. Also, ABC Family also ended up eventually having Power Rangers as well, which was also fun. So a lot of different, lot of syndicated stuff to watch as kids, but specifically when it came to anime, for you and I, other than Pokemon, I assume you saw Pokemon before this, because Pokemon came out
Yeah.
literally when we were 5.
Yeah.
So I assume you saw Pokemon before this, but when it came to something that, because like Pokemon was clearly different, but it wasn't like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, it wasn't Dragon Ball Z different.
and and now here's where I jump in with my story. So I was flipping channels as well. I was also watching Nickelodeon as well. I was watching Rugrats. I remember this.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm sorry, I was not watching Rugrats, but I had watched it like maybe half an hour before. But Rugrats was my comparison at the time to like, oh, what do I watch on Nickelodeon? Like Rugrats or Angry Beavers, I believe.
Yeah.
Just these cartoons that I'm like, all right, these are clearly animated cartoons. Some of them sitcom esque, but these are animated cartoons and that I watched that are like these are for me, quote unquote. Like it
Right.
didn't feel like I was watching something that like was weird or different.
Yeah, you were the target audience.
That's what it felt like. Yes. Now I would also. This is why I switched the channel. I was both scared and also felt like I had seen it before. Was an episode of Rugrats? No. I mean, there were some scary episodes of Rugrats for kids, but no.
Yeah.
The one that I'm for kids, but the one that I'm thinking of was it was Are You Afraid of the Dark with a clown.
Oh yeah.
The
Oh.
clown and the mirrors and stuff. And I had already seen it, and I was also like, you're kind of spooky. And also, even to this day, some of you out there probably laugh at me. I don't care. To this day, if you put me at the right time of night and you don't have all the lights on in the house, you play the Are You Afraid of the Dark theme.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that would my flight or fright fight or flight response would totally kick in if you fucking played that shit in the dark alley
your
or in the dark
flight,
hallway.
your flight or fright night response.
Yeah. My cat is also like wrestling with my headphones, so I'm like slightly distracted by that.
That's
So
fine. That's fine. But the point is that I was kind of like half. I've already seen this episode, and kind of half. Please get this off my screen right now.
yeah.
And so I flipped it off, and I turned it on channel 22, which at the time was Cartoon Network. And at the time, we didn't even. This is how long ago
Oh
it was. We
god.
didn't even have a.
Yeah, you're dating us, Matt.
Yeah, no, it gets worse. I didn't have a clock on my cable. It was just the red alarm clock style of like telling you what channel you're on.
Right.
So it would be like 0, 6. But like it's like an older alarm clock that like it's the type of red that's like segmented. This
Right.
is when
Yeah.
Time Warner Cable was just Time Warner. Also, god damn it, Warner Media showing up again in my life. Damn it, Warner, stop it. They also owned WCW.
It's like Sosuke Eisen walking out, being like, "I have controlled you from your very inception."
I mean, kinda, yeah, it's a little scary.
It's
So,
just Time Warner Media walking out. I have controlled you ever since your childhood.
yeah, no, like it was always part of the plan. It's a little scary. Um, so anyway, but yeah, so I flipped on to Dragon Ball Z, and it's funny that you mentioned that Goku was flying because I didn't just see one man flying, Tristan. I saw two men. It was Goku versus Vegeta, and they're in midair. And my first thought is, are these two dudes in midair right now?
Yeah.
And they're having like the most nonchalant conversation, and I'm like, shut the fuck up! Are you two in midair right now? Now I didn't say that as a kid. I didn't swear,
Right. Yeah.
but I
No.
was
Me too.
like, wait, why are you two in midair?
Yeah.
What is happening? And it really blew my mind because I mean, it's funny. My dad said that when I was 2 years old, that's the first time I ever watched Power Rangers. So I guess I had seen stuff like that before. I don't know if I started, like, kept on from when I was two or if I took a break, but I remember Power Rangers being, like, a big part of my childhood. I just don't remember when it, like, if I had, I assume I kept on going from when I was at least 5 onward, because I
Yeah.
remember, having some tapes and whatnot. And it's also, to be fair, it's not like I wasn't a fan of the Ninja Turtles, because I was. So it's not like all I had ever seen in my life were some babies talking and, a cat and a dog and a little cat dog. Like, no, I had seen other stuff as well. But just something about two dudes, because the thing is, the turtles, they're Ninja Turtles. You're like, yeah, these are clearly, they were hit with radioactive material. Some of them like to party. You know how the song went.
I actually don't.
Shredder taught them to be ninja teens. We're really hip. And the heroes, I don't remember that's a fact, Jack. Michelangelo is cool. Give me a break. Sorry, no, who was cool? Donatello was cool. Because I know Michelangelo is a party dude. Party! And then he, like, literally, like, instead of doing a, like, he's on his back doing a spin, but he's on the shell and he spins off.
Right, yeah.
Fucking love that theme song. Because I wore one of those, I had 2 VHS tapes as a kid, wore those shits out. And I had Teddy Ruxpin. You remember Teddy Ruxpin, right? Or no?
No.
Oh, TV Teddy.
No.
Oh, dude. Okay, so there was like a infrared sensor and a videotape, and you put the videotape in, and TV Teddy would comment on what's going on during the show.
Oh, okay. I think I heard about that when I was older.
Oh, dude, it's so cool. Cause like at the time I would watch it and TV Teddy would be like, "Oh man, those turtles did like a really cool move," and you're like, "Wow, he's really reacting," and he's like, "You should kill your parents," and I'm like, "Whoa,
He's
Teddy."
really here.
I'm like, "Whoa, Teddy, I don't know about that part," and he's like, "Burn the house down." And so
God.
TV Teddy was so fun. He was so possessed. But well, what I hate about TV Teddy now, and this is the most disturbing thing, and I actually genuinely, it's not his fault. He was like he had a kid's voice, so like he was around my age. Like, I don't want to be a dick at the time. I don't want to be a dick to TV Teddy, but it really pisses me off. I googled because I wanted to see if I could get a TV Teddy to like talk about it on the channel or something.
Right.
And someone was selling him for parts, but like his face was off.
Oh.
Yes, like one of those Chucky animatronics, and I was like, I fucking hate you now, Teddy.
You just look like the Terminator.
Yes, and I was like,
TV Terminator, more like it.
Yes, and I was like, I fucking hate you so much.
Are you afraid of the dark theme starts playing?
Yeah, no, like now I'm watching Ninja Turtles with TV Teddy. He's just like, the turtles should get to the chopper. I'm like, all right, TV Teddy, you're Austrian now for some reason.
I will eliminate humanity.
All right, TV Teddy. I guess you agree with Shredder now for some reason. But it wasn't just Ninja Turtles. There were also other ones as well. And I think it was just a fascinating concept that they had a receiver talking to the Teddy, bouncing off your... I assume it only worked because you had tube TVs back in the day. CRTs, I don't think it would work on a newer TV, probably.
Right.
But still, it was fascinating. And so, like, I had seen Ninja Turtles, but they were ninjas, and they were turtles. So to see two dudes just floating in midair, and then because this was the end of the Saiyan saga, literally a few episodes later, Vegeta just turns into a giant fucking monkey. I'm 7. I don't know what the fuck is going on. You know, again, just, as a reference for anyone who's a bit they consider retro like mid 2000s.
Right. Oh no.
I'm saying anyone anyone who thinks of retro as 2010s, right? I remember. Yeah, that's in the off chance you were listening in.
Matt, it hurts.
Look, I'm just saying, the off chance that you're listening in. Again, there was I was able to, because my parents, sat me down, were like, hey, listen, we know you're going to be going on the internet. Please be careful. There are people on the internet. You got to really be careful. Don't go and, talk to people on the internet and stuff like that. So, I knew not to do that. And, I did Google some things, or just search engine, Google was not the defined search engine at the time, if I remember correctly. But I did look up some things about Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. But in general, though, that was not normal. Tristan was, in my opinion, the normal kid who you had a computer, I believe, at the time, but you did not use it in such a way.
No, I did not go on to the internet. I played interactive CD-ROMs.
And I did too. I did too. The Disney ones.
I had Toy Story.
Oh, I had Toy Story 2. I don't now, but I had it as a kid on CD. I also had some Digimon CD-ROMs. I had one Pokemon CD-ROM. I had a Power Rangers. I say had as if I don't still have them. But the Toy Story 2 one I don't have anymore. But the point is that I also did the same thing, okay? But yeah, I also dipped my toes into the internet, and I knew a little bit here and there, but like still. And also, by the way, I assume you also played the Flash games on CartoonNetwork.com.
Yes, that I did.
Yes, but in general though, it wasn't like there. I should definitely clarify this. There's no Wikipedia. So
Yeah.
there's no Wikia sites. There are blogs where people post their findings. Like it was more like an archaeology kind of fucking thing where like, all right, these are my findings of this Japanese show.
I
This
must
is-
go for the logs.
That's kind of what it was like though, right? I mean, you've gone back and seen some of the older blog sites, right?
Yeah, here and there.
They look like they are archaeological digs and shit. Like people
The
just being like,
sacred texts.
I mean, no, like there are literally people who are like, I have a screenshot of my TV, and like it takes you don't know this because you weren't on at the time, but like pictures would take so long to even just load.
Yeah.
So when you look at what we did know at the time, you and I, and because we were kids, because the internet wasn't what it was today and how easy it is. I mean, even doing something like this, in my opinion, while 7-year-olds should not be doing a podcast. If we were 7, we could pull off doing a podcast. No, I'm being serious. I'm not saying you should, but I'm saying that OBS is free, and then you get a headset from the PS4.
like you are physically capable of doing so.
But at like thinking about us at 7 years old, that never would have occurred to us because, I mean, we literally couldn't be on the internet at the same time we were on. Like our parents were on the phone.
On the phone. Yeah, I don't even
Early
know
on.
if like a podcast as we know it now is even what you would call it. It would be more of just like a radio show.
Well, like you could upload a file. It's just like who would get it,
True. Yeah.
and you would have to host it, of course.
Right.
Which it was done. There were podcasts, quote unquote. People did do them. It was just so few and far between because you would have to host it. Also, who would see it? It would be. But you're right, though. Yes, it would potentially resemble more of a radio show. But I mean, even then, we're not doing this live. We're doing this pre-recorded.
Right.
So to
Yeah,
be fair,
true.
But we're not the ones doing the hosting. So that is, just looking at the differences between then and now. I mean, it's just fascinating to think about. And speaking of things that are fascinating to think about, the return. We should probably. I mean, we alluded to it earlier. It's only a 2-parter. It was very, very short. It was just meant to bring the Absolution, Tom's original ship as we know it.
Yeah.
Although, yeah, it's interesting. Well, because it occurred to me only in that moment when I saw the Absolution. He was like, "Wow, our first ship," and I was like, "Right, okay, they're not doing like a Doctor Who thing."
I mean,
there are no previous ships before
oh
the
no,
Absolution that we never saw.
Yeah, because at first he was just talking about it like, oh, it looks like a freighter. It looks like it's heavily modified too. I guess we're making the Absolution, equivalating it to the Millennium Falcon, but but I love how Sarah's the first. Oh no, Tom's like, it looks really. I can't remember who said it first, either Tom or Sarah, but somebody's like, that looks really familiar.
It was
I'm
Tom.
like, guys, come on. I know it's been a while and you've, traded bodies and, AI cores and systems and you've gotten some upgrades and some, memory reboots, but like, your ship when you see it.
Come the fuck on. Tom watches a lot of anime. It's very difficult to keep everything to remember shit when you watch a lot of fucking
But
anime.
but he's got robot brain. He don't need to be like, oh, where have I seen this, and access, the shitty meat computer that we have upstairs.
Look, do you want the return or do you not want the fucking return? Okay. What did you
Just
want this to
take
be?
it.
What did you want it to be? 5 seconds of him going, "That's the absolution," and they just fly off.
Yeah, no, I know. Um, I love how he grabs two pistols this time instead of just one.
Well, what was it, Tom? Tom, you should have some caution. It's like I got two hands full of caution right here.
Yeah.
I
Oh
was
my
like,
god, that was
I
beautiful.
was like, holy shit, Tom.
I mean, Tom's been eaten, blown apart, ejected from his own ship enough times that, you know what? I'll give him that one.
No, it's just hilarious. Tom's sitting around. It's like, he's like packing for a trip. What are you packing? He's like, heat. Putting guns in a fucking suitcase. Like, Jesus Christ, Tom. Like, it threw me
Oh,
off guard because, we were talking about Cosmo Samurai just last week, Cosmo Samurai 2, and it was such a departure from a Tom that, like, kind of quips. Not that he always has to quip, but, like, a Tom that's, like, that really talks at all. He did not talk for much of that Cosmo Samurai 2 special, for that
yeah.
TIE. And so having this be the Tom that we know again, it was just such an interesting whiplash because, Tom from the first Cosmo Samurai, I'm like, okay, he's in a different situation. It's quote unquote non-canon because, again, we have those for some reason now. But, like, this is still Tom, right? The Tom in part two, God, I don't want to sound like I'm talking about The Last Jedi. The Tom in Cosmo Samurai 2, I actually like Luke
The
Skywalker and
Last Samurai, too.
the last Tom too. Um, the last Tom Cruise Samurai too.
Oh my god.
So all comes full circle. All I'm trying to say, Tristan,
Uh-huh.
is that it felt like it felt weird, Cosmo Samurai 2 compared to the first Cosmo Samurai they did. And I was wondering, I was like, I guess the next thing we're going to get is part 3. Um I mean, I didn't think about that because I had only seen Cosmo Samurai 2 right before we podcasted on it, but I didn't think we'd be getting a TIE anytime soon. And then in between me telling you, oh yeah, we should do Cosmo Samurai 2, they just dropped the return for the 25th anniversary. And it's just absurd to think that, like, we are older than Toonami, but, like, only by 4 years.
You are older than Toonami.
No, you are also older than Toonami. You're not older than Cartoon Network. Your big brother, Cartoon Network. But seriously, though, when it comes to this special, if you want to call it that, this TIE, very short. It got to the point, but I was a little confused. So I don't know. Tell me if you thought something similar. I thought, even though I did know that it was going to be two parts by the time we were doing this show, I still thought that they were leading up to something. And it was actually interesting and kind of cute that it was just like, at least for right now, no, we're not actually doing something. We're just,
Yeah.
here's the nice ship. You'll maybe one day we'll talk about why this thing is from the fucking future. But for right now, hey y'all, we have the ship back. And I was like, that's cute, but, like, it really felt like they were, like, about to lead into a part 3 and then they just didn't do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's something they'll come back to.
Like,
Oh, for you mean for the return? Yeah.
yes. No, because they're talking about, oh right, technically the future can also be talking about Cosmo Samurai too.
Yeah.
No. I'm referring to the return because it's like the ship is here. You have Tom and Sarah being like, well, this is weird. Well, yeah, this is weird. Man, this is so weird. Man, there's even something wrong with the ship, kind of, at least with Sarah's consciousness. And, like, it sounds like you think they're going to talk about fixing her or fixing the ship or seeing why it's from the future, even though her consciousness is still messed up.
Yeah.
And then
I,
and
I
then
love the
Tom's
fact
like,
that
and Tom's just like, you know what? Actually, why don't we just chill in here?
yeah, that too. I love the fact that he's the first one to bring up, like, the ship was destroyed 19 years ago. I was like, oh no.
It's fascinating to me because I didn't know how time worked for him. I was like, has it been 1900 years, 190 years? Like, no, it's just been 19. And I'm just like, oh God, Tom.
Yeah. And yet, look how many incarnations of himself he's had to create to stay alive these past 19 years.
He just wants to watch some anime, man. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
he's had it fucking rough. He's like, dude, I'm just trying to broadcast anime throughout the galaxy. Why do people keep trying to kill me?
What really sucks is that he misses episodes during these escapades, and he has to like try to catch up in a new body and shit.
Oh my god.
Because like there's like random 5 weeks in a row he's just fucked.
He's got to download his watch history into his new body.
No, and he has to watch what he missed while he was getting shot at for 5 weeks.
That too.
He's not watching anime while he's in the middle of a TIE, but we are. Anime's
just
still
like-
going.
Right, he's just shooting, enemies down the hallway. He's like, guys, hang on a second. I gotta push the button. I gotta do the thing.
So there's
The
something
people
that
need their shows.
I know, right? There's something that I find hilarious. At least I don't know. I find it funny. I was sitting here and I was like, man, it's a two-parter. It's super short. They're not really doing too much. I do like the animation, as bulgy and CGI as it is as always, but like I was like, they're not really doing too much, and they seemed shorter even the parts. And then I see the anime clips from like anime, like when we were like, I'm talking about like the exact anime that aired in promos that we would see back in the day.
Yep.
The exact stills, and I was like, oh, all the money went to licensing those clips.
Yeah,
I'm not even kidding. I think a
possibly.
decent chunk of money went to licensing those clips of shows that they are never going to air on the block again. But because at least when it came to DBZ, they already aired that as Kai. But it looked like they had like the exact aspect ratio for like the original DBZ, and I'm just like, man,
yeah. And Tenchi Muyo and Outlaw Star.
Exactly. Thank you for reminding me. I knew Outlaw Star was one of them. I forgot about Tenchi Muyo. Yes. So I watched a little bit of Tenchi in the day.
Pretty sure Sailor Moon might have flashed in there once or twice too.
Yeah. Sailor Moon I watched back in the day. Sailor Moon blew my mind as a kid because, you're a kid, you're a little boy. You're like, yeah, the boys do this and then the girls do this. So then seeing Sailor Moon, I was like, oh, wow. Like, these are strong women on TV. In anime form. I didn't know it was anime at the time, but like animated form.
Yeah.
And also they had Tuxedo Mask come in. And like, yes, he saved the day, but like it's not like he would because from what I remember, right, he would come in just
I'm here. You didn't do anything. My work here is done. Goodbye.
I love those memes. But like there were times I remember he would save the day, but he wouldn't do it in a way that made it seem, from what I remember, because I haven't gone back to really watch it, but from what I remember, he didn't save the day in a way that made the sailors look like chumps.
Right. He didn't do the heavy lifting, we'll put it that way. He was there for the pep talk and the like, all right, get back up here on your feet, you can do this.
He was there at I remember sometimes he was there at like the last minute as like, oh fuck, we need help. Hey look, it's Sailor Mask.
He'd come in
sorry,
with
it's
the
Tuxedo
save.
Common, rather. Sailor Mask.
Tuxedo Common.
Well, no, that's his name,
Oh, right, okay. I was thinking, no, I didn't know that.
Oh, okay, so the reason why Tristan laughed is because he laughs at my hobbies.
Wow, all right, paint me as the jackass in the room. Thanks, man.
I love you. The reason why he was laughing is because he thought I was making a joke about Kamen Rider. Kamen is the Japanese word for masked. So he thought I was taking the word mask and translating it back in the Japanese because it's like, haha, because he has the mask on like a Kamen Rider, right?
I was about to... Did you just call him Masked Mask?
Yeah, right. Sorry. The point is that he thought I was making a joke. But no, in Japanese, his name is Tuxedo Kamen. So Tuxedo Mask. So they just directly translated it.
Right.
Now, is he a reference to Kamen Rider? Yes, always. No, but like all jokes aside, I think so because let's just be real here. If Sailor Moon is a reference to Super Sentai or other types of 5-person groups of transforming heroes.
Right, true.
Because there are some that came out before Super Sentai, like Ninja Captor and stuff like that. So there are other ones. But if we're thinking of... I'm going to die.
Only Toonami.
I need a drink of water. But point is that if we're talking about, if we're assuming that they are a reference, then yes, I think Tuxedo Common and, having
would make sense.
Yes. Now, I don't know. I could swear to God there was a joke where he actually had like a Kamen Rider mask on. Like he was human and he had the mask on because it was from one of those those when they have like the festivals and they have different masks
Right.
that you could buy. I could swear
Yeah,
you put
yeah.
on a Kamen Rider mask as a joke. If I could swear either I knew about I know I've seen that, or John, who loves Sailor Moon, told me about it, and I was like, that's funny. One of the two things happened. John, probably another contributor. Usually he and I talk about Star Trek on those guys on the radio. So when it at least Star Trek TNG, but when it comes to Sailor Moon, that aired at 4 p.m. I remember Card Captor Sakura, just known as Card Captors at the time, also aired for a bit. They didn't air the full dub, though. They did air it in Canada, but they didn't air the full dub here. I guess it got canceled, I believe.
Mm.
Also, they aired Sailor Moon in the same slot. I know they definitely did not get through all of Sailor Moon. I don't know how much of it they got through, but
Yeah.
I know that like my cousin, she fucking loves Sailor Moon. She's a few years younger than me. She bought them all on VHS.
Nice.
I don't know if they purged that collection, but like I remember at one point when I would go to their house, when I go to their apartment, they would just have like a whole row of just like every single episode of Sailor Moon on VHS
Right.
that was out at the time, and I was floored because it was just they were all colorful, and I was like, that's so cool. But I should have told her like, yo, let's put some of those on. But for some reason, maybe I tried and they were just like, nah, and then we played video games or whatever. But like, because I always wanted to watch Sailor Moon, I should probably check it out on streaming now wherever it's streaming.
Yeah.
But yeah, you didn't get into Sailor Moon. I assume you were watching Kids WB before
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I didn't really get into Sailor Moon back in the
Because
day.
Dragon Ball Z was
I had a friend that like I watched a few episodes with her at one
nice.
point. But yeah.
I remember when it came to Dragon Ball Z, either it was on at 4:30 or 5. It switched a little bit. Like, I
Yeah.
remember a little bit it was on at 4:30, or maybe they had a 4:30 and 5 o'clock block, but then they ended up cutting it off and just had it at 5 p.m. And then 5:30 they would slot different things. I remember, I don't know if it was on at 5:30, but I do remember on the Toonami block, one of my favorite, most esoteric shows. Whenever someone says, "Oh, this shouldn't be on Toonami," I will always want to remind people of Hamtaro.
Yeah, I remember Hamtaro.
These fucking hamsters. Such a funny show. Funnily
Yeah,
enough,
I love that show.
I didn't know about this as a kid. There are some Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance games
Oh yeah.
that we got.
Right. Yeah.
I had no idea. So that's pretty cool. I definitely want to go back and play those, watch some Hamtaro. I'm pretty sure they aired the whole thing, or at least they dubbed the whole thing, which is absurd to think about for like a ham show, for like a little
Yeah.
like a little hamster show.
The Ham show.
Yeah, exactly. So
The
I remember
Ham Gang.
Yeah, I love them so much. It was so silly. I really hope the humor has aged well. And so it was for kids, but you still never know. I'm pretty sure they aired at 5:30. I know they aired Zoids. I believe it was
Yeah.
Chaotic Century.
I believe so, yeah.
They aired Rurouni Kenshin as well.
Yep.
I remember you got into that when you were younger.
Yeah. I remember watching that with my dad back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, you watched Dragon Ball Z as well with your dad, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. But Rurouni Kenshin was the one that he was like, because he really is into like old Kurosawa films.
Yeah, right. He loves samurai films and he studied kendo, so like there was if there was a cartoon with samurais, he was like, "All right, yeah, I'm here for this."
Yes. He is the lone wolf, you are the cub.
Yeah, yes, basically.
Yeah, so I'm thinking any other shows you can think of from Toonami that really stuck out to you. Of course, again, Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho was in there. I didn't get into Zoids as much as I wish I had. Gundam I didn't get into as much as I wish I had too. That's a series I need to revisit, and I know that's a huge undertaking because there are multiple series.
Or just don't do that and watch G Gundam.
Yeah, G Gundam and Gundam Wing, I think too.
No, you don't have to watch. Don't worry about all that other Gundam.
No, I'm just thinking of the various like the series in that time frame. I think it was G Gundam and Wing.
Yes, and the reason why those were chosen is because I don't want to say anything about Wing because I'm not trying to rag on it, and I'm not ragging on G Gundam, but I know that I saw enough of it that I can have a critique here. G Gundam was, first of all, did not have anything to do with any of the other canon of Gundam.
Okay. Right.
Yes, that's why I'm telling you, don't worry about all that other stuff. Just watch G Gundam. It's its own thing.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And it's also very, it has like it has the themes that other Gundam have of war being wrong,
Yeah,
but I remember hearing that it wasn't as popular in Japan, and I believe why. Not just because it has nothing to do with any of the other canon that took place before, where like they would have like canon weaved into the show, but another reason why is because like early Gundam would be like, here are the horrors of war, and like a child could die in the war.
right,
In this case, they would like show you that like war sucks, but it also is a shonen, like it is like an anime
right,
that like has a lot of like robots fighting each other. There's a greater purpose behind it, and again, even in the dub, even in the English dub, they still had this air of, look, it's not that this is good that it's happening,
yeah,
but I don't know. There's something about it that if I haven't seen it in a very long time, but from what I remember, from what I've watched, and I did try to revisit it about 10 years ago. So from what I remember, it didn't glorify it, but it didn't condemn it as much as Gundam usually does.
right. Because
Um,
at least from the very limited clips that I've seen from like promos and maybe like an episode cap here and there, like it seemed like they basically had kids as like the commando units, with the more powerful Gundam being like, all right, we're sending in the big guns. What do you mean they're a bunch of children? Yeah, but they're the best pilots we have.
I think you're thinking of Gundam Wing.
Okay.
No, G Gundam is a guy is looking for his brother who he can't find, and in G Gundam, all of the different like every country in the world has their own like Gundam, and they fight in a
Right.
tournament.
Oh, okay,
And
gotcha.
one day they like, and they have an announcer, like just kind of like he's like a looks like he could like referee a match, and he's always doing commentary over like I think at the beginning but usually at the end. And he talked about like, and this really blew my mind as a kid. He was talking about how he's like, they talk about it like it's, and I'm very much paraphrasing here, they talk about this like they have a choice, and then they kind of pan out to the world, and there's like bars, electric fences around the entire world that like no one can escape in their Gundam, essentially, even if they wanted
Right.
to. So it's essentially like, no, they have to fight. And I'm like, oh, like,
Right.
because like you would think like, oh, you can get in the Gundam, and like, because earlier Gundam, like they would go to space all the fucking time. They would be in space sometimes fighting with their Gundams. In this case, like they were kind of trapped on Earth in a way.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and each government of each country had their own Gundam, which in hindsight is really stereotypical. I'm just gonna keep it real. I remember there was, I think Mexico had a Gundam that literally had a sombrero on its head.
Right. I
Again,
think I vaguely remember that too, and thinking how out of place that looked.
yes. As someone who is Hispanic, I both want that Gundam, and I'm both like, how dare you? How
You know what? That's
dare
fair enough.
how dare you not give me that Gundam?
uh,
But no, Gundam Wing, you are very much correct. They were children,
right.
and there was like really like, it was like high school drama, but it was like, I remember I've seen some clips of it, and it was legit like high school or middle school drama, but amped up to 11 in a way
Right.
that, I guess, here's how I would describe it to you. Right, think about how JoJo does things in a very expressive way. Sometimes even the most mundane things.
Yeah.
That is how it would be like.
Right.
Like because I remember like one, I think it was like one of the kids was like, oh, I have this letter for you, it's me asking you out to the dance, and the kid was like, no, I would never. And like it had like dramatic music and cuts and shit, and he
Yeah.
like dropped the letter or something, or like ripped it in half. It was like and then there was gat, it was like very like intense, but also again very mundane to people our age, but it was like done in a way that I was like, this is fascinating.
Right.
So yes, that is what you are thinking of, I believe. And there was also a newer Gundam that came to Toonami. I want to say fairly recently, but it probably was like 7 years back, honestly, at this point.
Yeah.
Iron Blooded Orphans.
Yeah. Iron Blood Orphans. Yeah.
Yes.
wanted I caught a few episodes of that, and I'm like, oh, I like this, and I didn't have the time around when it was airing to actually commit to seeing it.
Well, it is a sequel of
Unfortunately.
some sorts, I believe. So like you can skip it for now, but at the same time, I also heard it was really really good.
Yeah, I heard it had been pretty good too.
Yes. And but yeah, but the thing is though, when it came to Gundam, outside of G Gundam, I don't. If Gundam Wing did air on Toonami proper, like during the day, I don't remember it. They would definitely have a lot of shows air during the midnight run. Like I remember Tenchi Muyo, which was weird to watch. Tenchi, I didn't
Yeah.
watch it during the midnight run. I watched it during daily Toonami, and that was I think the like because look, I know I said earlier when you watch Dragon Ball Z for the first time, you're a very young kid, you don't know about anime. It feels like you shouldn't be watching it. Like you're like, this is so strange, this is different, this is unique, this is new. Tenchi Muyo is the only show that genuinely made me feel like I really should not be watching this with my parents in the house.
Yeah.
And that's in the middle of the day.
Yeah, I remember feeling that too. Like there were a few action sequences where I was like, oh, or like when he was training with his grandfather or something. I'm like, oh, okay, and then the rest to it because it. I correct me if I'm wrong, but it was a harem anime basically, wasn't it?
It was.
Okay, yeah. So like, yeah, 7-year-old me, maybe not something I should be watching.
But it's weird because they aired it right after
And
school.
it was heavily edited, but
Of
like
course, but they
it
aired
wasn't
it.
edited enough to be like you could still. I'm like, there's
Well, no,
still
it's like
I can
trying
still
to.
kind of tell what's going on
It's like
here.
trying to edit the card games out of Yu-Gi-Oh. You can
Yeah,
try,
right.
but at the
Mr.
end of the
Pegasus
day,
would like a word with you. You'll never take me alive.
they're gonna be talking about cards a lot, even if you don't see them.
I'm sorry, I was just thinking of what the equivalent of that sentence would be with Tenchi Muyo.
No, you should be thinking of what the equivalent would be.
All I could imagine is just they're gonna be talking about boobs a lot, but he's just
And what I find strange with it too is
damn it.
it's just the differences because like I don't know about you. I know that as a kid you were a bit shy. And I'm not saying that I wasn't shy either as a kid, but it's just I don't know, like if that many girls were interested in me, I would have been like, wow. But like Tenchi, I don't remember why to be fair because it's been so long. But Tenchi was like, it was like they were all like garlic and he was a vampire. And again, I know it's a cultural difference, and that's how. And now I know as an adult, oh, that is how harem anime works. That's how they structure it. For some reason, the guy is like, I do enjoy sex, but boy, do I never want to have it. It's not that they. It's no, because it's not because if the guy was asexual and did not like sex, that would be fine.
Right.
It would be weird that they're still coming on to him in that way, but like you would understand. Okay,
That would be wrong. But
yes,
yeah.
but he does not like sex. But like if you corner these harem anime dudes, they'd be like, which I mean, not like the way that the women do, but if you corner them and be like, look, just be honest with us, do you like sex? They'd be like, of course, and I'd be like, then why can't you have sex with any one of these women? I don't know. Like
Because my destiny forbids me from doing so.
but like you see what I'm saying? Like it's just like I don't know, like how like did that ever cross your mind as a kid? The idea that like at the very least, in your child brain, why does he not like at least one of these girls?
I honestly don't know that I thought about it that much.
Because I did see more than one episode, but again, I stopped because I was like, oh.
Yeah, I saw it here and there, but I think it was more of I just really didn't pay attention all that much, or I just flipped around a lot until like it was almost over
Yes.
type of deal.
Yeah. But yeah, that's one that's so weird that they aired it during the day. They had those mecha weeks. I didn't really get to watch much of them because Cartoon Network, I'm sorry, Kids WB was firing on all cylinders by that point, so I was so interested in watching that.
Yeah.
But they had mecha weeks where like they had like edited down episodes of stuff air. Like Big O,
Yeah.
Outlaw Star, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
that would count because that's not mecha. I know that they did.
Not like a traditional mecha, no, but it sort of counts.
I know that they did. I remember like they aired like I think the original episode of Gundam,
Right.
which came out in the 70s.
Holy shit.
They aired that just during a Mecha week, and it was so weird. I didn't
Yeah.
watch it, but like when I heard about it, like I saw trailers for it, I was like, this looks old, even for me, who's cool
Yeah,
with old shit.
I feel like I vaguely remember that too.
Yeah. Um, it was very interesting. But yeah, looking at some of the runs now, they had Saturday Toonami, which I did not watch, which was from 97 to 99. They had Midnight
Yeah,
Run,
'cause that
which
was right, late night.
too late,
Yeah.
which was
At the
99 to 2000. Well, Saturday Toonami might not have been super late. Actually, yes, Saturday Toonami. I don't know why I didn't pick up on it. I think because, I don't know about you, but me personally, it didn't register. Also, because I'm looking at some of these shows, I definitely wouldn't have watched them. But it didn't really register that Toonami was on Saturdays. It was, Saturday Toonami was from 97 to 99, and it aired from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Huh.
But here's what they aired, right? Cartoon Roulette, Real Adventures of Johnny Quest, Robotech, Thundercats,
Right.
Sailor Moon, and Voltron. Other than
Oh
Sailor
shit.
Moon,
They
I
had
wouldn't
OG
have.
Voltron.
Yeah,
Okay.
OG Voltron. But other than Sailor
Right.
Moon, I never would have watched any of those.
That's probably where I saw some Johnny Quest.
Probably.
Yeah.
And then Midnight Run, which I remember it's funny, they aired the commercials for Midnight Run, but I was like watching Toonami as a kid, like, yeah, I'm not gonna watch that. I'm gonna be asleep, Toonami.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry, Tom.
Yeah.
And that would end up having that had Cartoon Roulette, DBZ, G-Force, Guardians of Space. G-Force was also Gotcha Man.
Right.
That should be Gotcha. Yep, Space Science Ninja Team Gotcha Man, and then the Powerpuff Girls, Real Adventures of Johnny Quest, Reboot, Robotech, Ronin Warriors, Sailor Moon, Thundercats, and Voltron. Did you watch Reboot back in the day? I did not.
I did not either.
I heard such good things about it, but as a kid, I couldn't get past the animation.
I knew someone that did. Yeah, I don't think I liked the art style either. It was very jarring and very off-putting as a child to me.
And it sucks because I'm sure the show's great. Just as a
Yeah.
child, I was like,
Yeah.
Same thing with even though I like it now, again, just the animation. I haven't watched an episode of the show at all, but as a kid, I could not wrap my mind around Transformers Beast Wars.
Right.
I like the way they did the animation for Beast Wars. I just couldn't wrap my mind around it. I was like, this is weird. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Do you remember Beast Wars? Like it was like
I remember the name. I don't know if I actually watched it or not.
the
I may have
animation-
seen a few.
The animation looked like, remember the mechs from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, the weird like silvery metallic.
Oh, okay.
That's how Beast Wars looked.
I don't think I saw that, but I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll show you.
Like the very odd, like 3D model ish.
Yup.
But everything's metallic. Yeah, I know what you're alluding to.
It was weird. Also, they had a short-lived block that I'm very shocked that they called it this. I mean, it was a late-night block, so it makes sense. But I'm still to this day shocked that they actually went with this. Rising Sun.
Oh yeah, the Rising Sun. Yeah.
And that was from it ran Saturday mornings. Okay, for some reason I thought it ran late night. But no, it was Saturday mornings, which I guess I never noticed because, well, first of all, it only lasted a fucking year. But I didn't notice because Saturday mornings I'm either asleep or I'm watching the Kids WB.
Yeah.
I mean, Jackie Chan Adventures. We can do a whole fucking podcast on just Kids
On
WB.
just that. Yeah, right.
Yeah. I mean, Jackie Chan Adventures, Shaolin Showdown, Mucha Lucha, and that's before even getting to the anime like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
But I can assure you, though, if we ever do
That's what I was there for.
If we ever do a Kids WB podcast, I'm not saying we never would, but you're never gonna fucking catch us talking about the weekly events separately, like TIEs.
Right.
No. Maybe the Tom one, just as a little time capsule. But outside of that, we're not gonna sit here and talk about the bare naked ladies for an hour. No, thank you. Again, they hosted a week. They did.
I don't remember that at all.
No, I only knew it because I went on a binge looking for a bunch of promos a while back. I was looking for a specific promo for a future video for Those Guys Play channel. But but when it came to like the actual when it came to seeing it live, I don't remember that shit at all.
Right.
Oh God, do you remember the Super Saturday lineup? I do not remember this. 1 to 3 p.m. or 1 to 4 p.m. It was from 2001 to 2003.
I'm possibly.
maybe the name, but like, because let me tell you, some of the hard hitters are here: Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, G Gundam, Dot Hack, which I now remember did
Oh,
air. I
yeah.
remember that.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah, yeah,
I didn't watch it, but I remember it now, like that it aired on Toonami.
yeah. I
I
remember
remember
seeing bits and pieces of Dot Hack.
what I remember about Dot Hack the most is me and my dad, may he rest in peace, going to like either Toys R Us's or like Blockbusters, and seeing those games, being like, "What the fuck is this?" Because the name Dot Hack is a very unique name.
Yeah,
Like it sticks out very much so.
right.
And being at a Toys R Us and in the game section and being like, "What is Dot Hack?"
Right, yeah.
And I
Yeah,
never
I,
got
I
to.
remember doing that too.
Yeah, I never got to play the series, but I always sat back and said, "I got to get into this one day," and one day may eventually come. He-Man, Masters of the Universe, but the
Yep.
2002 version.
Right. I think I saw bits and pieces of that too.
And here's what you know. This is the one that's like, this is your stuff. Samurai Jack,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
we podcasted on the whole series here. Transformers Armada, and of course Zoid's
Yeah.
Chaotic Century.
Yes, those I remember. I didn't see a lot of Transformers. My cousin was really big into Transformers.
But
and,
Armada was, from what I remember from the few episodes I've seen, really good.
yeah. I think that might have been the Transformers that I sort of started to get into.
And then that's when we get, and I don't want to sound like, and that's when we get but the Saturday Night Toonami from 2004 to 2008, where Toonami died.
Yeah, the dark times.
Here's what sucks. It's not that the show.
It wasn't the block. No, the block was fine.
And I know you're gonna say, "Oh, it's how Tom looked." And guess
It's-
what? And guess what? You're right. But but I'm not gonna say that that's why like people didn't watch or something.
No.
It's because a daily block worked both as kids and as teens.
Yeah.
But for you and I in particular, right? 04, we're 12. So we're not really doing too much. We're 12 years old.
Yeah.
But once 2005 and 2006 comes around, at least I know for 2006, that's when I moved to Long Island a year
Right.
before you and I met.
Yeah.
And that means that now I'm living with my dad, my stepmom, and my brothers. And it's just very hard to watch Toonami on the weekend anymore. Not saying that it would have been super easy maybe during the week, but to be fair, like coming our school day, we weren't out that late.
Yeah.
So in theory, yeah, I could have watched it during the day. But, you're starting to become a teenager. I'm not saying I had a huge social life,
Yeah.
but you start to develop a little bit of one.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I did watch Toonami a lot in that time period. I'll be frank. But that, like you said, that was also the time I started hanging out with my friends on the weekends. And, in that time frame, like anywhere from like noon to like 10 o'clock. So like I might catch it on my way back home, but I wasn't at the point in my life where I was staying up way too late. So like,
And the block was from 7 to 11. And when I look at the
Yeah.
block, I see some real bangers here.
oh yeah, definitely.
Like, you have some amazing shows. You have, let me see here, I want to get some like actually really good ones. Like, despite the fact that they are very, very long and sometimes they aren't paced the best, still you have on this block Naruto and One Piece.
Yeah.
You have Yu Yu Hakusho. Apparently Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh! GX were on this block. Samurai Jack and Clone Wars were.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was, oh yeah. No, that was, no, that was the,
Oh, the 2003 one, that little brief one by Tartakovsky?
yes, I believe so.
Right.
Because
Or Tartakovsky?
yes, Tartakovsky,
Yeah.
which was awesome.
I enjoyed it. Not as much as Clone Wars itself, but like I do enjoy what it was trying to do. Like I enjoy the artsiness of it.
Yeah. The later Clone Wars series didn't start until 2007, 2008.
Who is messaging me on Facebook right now?
It's not me.
Oh, thank God. I thought it was you. I was about to shit on you so much.
We're doing a fucking show.
We should probably wrap this up soon, though, before we
Yeah.
keep on going down memory lane. But Bobobo was on this block, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, Blue Dragon, which I never saw the anime, but it's based off of an Xbox 360 game, which I recently got. And I'm so happy to have. I'm going to lend it to you, Tristan, once I beat it. You have to play this game. Toriyama
Right.
created the character designs for it. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a little bit of Blue Dragon.
Oh,
I liked what I saw.
Transformers Cybertron was on this
Yeah,
block. Teen
saw
Titans.
a little bit of that. Yes.
Pokemon Battle Frontier and Chronicles.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's where I saw Chronicles.
So
And
this in
people
no
still think of that as like a fever dream. Like that
Mhm.
didn't exist. I'm like,
Mhm.
it totally did.
Gundam Seed was on this block. IGPX,
Yes. Oh hell yeah.
Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah, Justice League was fun.
No, but I liked Unlimited a lot because
Yeah.
it took Kevin Conroy's Batman.
Right. Yeah.
So it was kind of essentially making Batman and the Superman show before it canon to
Right.
Justice League Unlimited. Like really
Yeah.
cool. The Batman was on it. That's probably where you saw the
Yeah.
Batman because I saw it on Kids WB a little.
Yeah. No, I saw it on Kids WB first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I was happy when it came on to Toonami too.
So this is not a blad. This is not a bad block. It's just that you take the most like it was so easy to be able to and so accessible to be able to watch it every single day and get these shows every single day.
Yeah.
To then go actually it's going to be now once a week.
Yeah.
And the block is being replaced by Maguzi.
Yeah.
Which did not have like an identity. Like it was like this green alien that didn't speak
Yeah,
or didn't do anything.
It was just weird.
it was
Although
just-
Cold Lyoko was on there, and that's where I saw that.
I've heard great things about that. Haven't seen it. Totally Spies was also on there.
Yeah.
So my point,
It was like they tried to make another block, and it just did not hit the same way.
well because of the fact that like I hate to say this because obviously the anime is very important. And the shows are very important, but Steve Blum, the personality he brought to Tom, and the voice actress who brought, I don't remember her name because there was a few different ones. That's why a few different voice actresses for Sarah, but still, Tom and Sarah brought something to the block that really it's fascinating that it worked because it's really a callback to a lot of like Elvira and Tales of the Crypt Keeper, even not so much callback because it came out at the same time, but this callback to having a host like you have like one of the old horror movies, right, airing in your local affiliate, and then John Bob the Horror Man, right, is dressed up as like a vampire or a mummy that week or something, and it's just like, hello everyone, welcome to the creepy scary creepy show. It's like a callback to that local public access style of thing. But it worked because it was like, as a kid, right? What's cool to kids? Fucking robots.
Yeah.
What's also cool to kids? Space. Hey, what if you take a robot and put him in space and have him watch cartoons? Holy shit, yes. I'm down for that shit.
Right.
And so that's what's fascinating is that, then and now, Tom really makes the block, which, again, like, he shouldn't. Because it's about the shows first and foremost. And it's weird because Toonami stopped. Yet still, it's so strange how Adult Swim continued and it still aired anime. Because yes, the anime is very important. But still, it's fascinating how Tom and Sarah and the Absolution, or just the setting of being in space, really took something that would have just been a couple shows airing during the weekday and actually made it into a thing that kids wanted to follow, that we wanted to follow.
Yeah.
And still do to this day. So to end it on that note would be smart.
Just
but
real
I won't.
quick.
No, it's fine. I'm not ending it yet because I'm not smart.
Dana Swanson and Sally Timms for the voices of Sarah.
Thank you. Both amazing. What I wanted to say, though, is that what's fascinating to me as well is Toonami started with Moltar in 1997. Now, it seems like Toonami, even though it died when we were young, it felt forever. But the version of Toonami that we knew lasted from 1999. So I guess we got into it right around the time it started, because I remember Fat Tom. I
Yeah.
remember Sonny Strait as Tom.
Right, right.
From 99 till 2004. And then Toonami ended officially in '08. So from 99
Yeah.
to '08, that's 9 years.
Yeah.
Toonami now, the restart of Toonami,
Oh, right. Yeah, we were talking about this.
like a year ago, but like
Yeah.
it's very relevant now. It started in 2012. So the newer version of Toonami has now outlasted the original in terms of how long it's been around. That is weird to think about,
Yeah.
because it feels like Toonami started, I don't want to say just yesterday, but not that long ago. Like if you asked me when did Toonami start, I'd be like, yeah, again. I'd be like, oh, 5 years ago?
Yeah.
You'd say no. I'd be like, five, six. No, it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
In
I
a,
mean, I find it funny because I always, not that I forget, but I kind of don't think about it that it ever really went away until I remind myself, no, it did.
well, it's funny that you're here now, because originally you were acting like Tom was resurrected back from the dead, as if like he truly died.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, okay, those
No,
last 4 years were rough, all right?
no. But that's what I'm saying is fascinating, is that from like when we were younger, like in high school, you and I both had moaned about the end of Toonami while it was still on the air.
Yeah.
We were like, it's like Toonami's gone. Tom's like, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Like it was while it was on the air we were talking about. And then from 2008 to 2012, it's only 4 years. But like just like some other shows or movies that are out there that, there isn't that long of a gap. But it, like, I mean, even let's say like when Dragon Ball Z ended in the US, right? Technically, even when GT ended in the US was like 2005. There's only a 5 year gap between that and Dragon Ball Z Kai.
Yeah.
Only a 5 year gap. And I know it's not technically new Dragon Ball content, but for
Right.
those 5 years, it felt like it was like, well, it's over. Goodbye.
Yeah.
And then literally, like, Toei was just like punching us in the face, like, Dragon Soul! Just repeatedly in the face. We're bleeding on the floor. We're like, thank you, just stop. But because it felt like Dragon Ball Z was gone forever. It was only 5 years, and then once Dragon Ball Z Kai started, it started in '09 in Japan, but for us it started in 2010. From there to Battle of Gods was only 4 years,
Yeah.
because it was 2013 in Japan, but we got it in 2014 ish, I believe.
Right.
So only 4 year gap between that. That's not that long when you think about it. Like between yes, 2005 to 2013, 14. That is a pretty long gap. But between Kai and that, where we're like, oh wow, Dragon Ball Z's back on TV. Fuck.
Yeah, I think it was also when I was younger, it just felt like an eternity. Like those years without it felt like an eternity.
Yes.
But like,
we're 16 years old by the time it ends, right? So it felt like our childhood was gone, and we were going off into the world, and we could change and become new people. And Tom came back into our lives, like, come back over here, you fucking idiots.
yeah.
We're like, we've grown up. We don't need to party with Tom anymore. We're gonna get our life back together. And it's just like, only Toonami. Fucking come over here.
Now I come home at night after work and I'm like, I want to party with Tom like the good old days.
It's just fascinating to think about that. We've had more new Tom than we did old Tom. It's weird.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it should end
point.
anytime soon. I'm just saying it's very strange to think about.
Yeah, and I think that was probably the coolest part about this little event, just the return, just seeing. At least I looked in the comments, like I watched both parts on YouTube on Adult Swim's channel, and just seeing the amount of comments of people gushing over the Absolution makes me
It's
actually really happy.
no, it's beautiful because for me, it's not something that makes me pop, that makes me go like, yeah. I don't know why it just doesn't, but I'm so happy to see that and get that joy from other people.
Yeah, because
Um,
I like even people talking about like um looking at the ship design and being like, dude, those are the engines that we voted on online to have the new
oh,
design when they jettisoned it after the Intruder,
okay, that's gonna make me cry. That's beautiful.
right?
I didn't vote for that
Yeah.
shit. I didn't. I always forgot about those. I saw the events, the TI. I think I've mentioned this before. I saw the TIEs while they happened, and I was like, I gotta go vote on that, and I never did.
I don't know if I did or not. I don't know if I was tech savvy enough as a kid or just computer savvy
Yeah,
enough to navigate that, but
but it really made you think about computers in a different way
yeah,
back in the
yeah,
day.
it did.
Um,
That was a thing you could do,
yeah,
and that it
but
was interactive with this thing you were watching on TV. That was so weird.
we've been doing this for an hour and a half, and that special was, I think, 6 minutes tops. It's beautiful.
Well, I
Um,
mean, you did a huge segue too. We
I
went down
know,
memory lane,
I
which
know.
I mean, that's basically what these TIE events are for anyway. So
Yeah, it's just, we're just having some fun. And I just think it's fascinating that I see people on Reddit. I don't usually go to Toonami or really Reddit at all, but like every now and again, if I really need to look up something and I'm like, fuck, I need a community that knows something about this thing. And I'm like, you know what, maybe Reddit. And usually I'll like literally ask a question and then put Reddit and then I'll be like, oh shit, thank you, Reddit. So like I've seen some stuff about Toonami on Reddit, and it's fascinating how like now you are the person who's like, oh, I think Toonami's doing fine, and there are people that are like, Toonami's gonna die like every year,
yeah,
and that's how you were in like 2013, 2014, 2015. Weekly Toonami, and you were like, I'm not buying it yet. Like it, I remember how you were, and I think we've talked about this on previous TIE podcasts. You were thinking it was just going to go again.
yeah. Well, I
You
was
didn't.
just so traumatized that they were going to take Tom away from me again or turn him into. Which is how it's funny for me, especially because as a child, I loved Thomas the Tank Engine. I did not like Thomas the Tank Engine's face on Tom,
Oh,
though.
Thomas the Face Engine.
Exactly. That is the perfect description, and it still gives me nightmares.
But I do think
Oh.
it's really cool to think about, what, like, just again, just how you and I have grown as people,
Yeah.
how you've
And
become. Tom helped you trust again. And,
yeah, a little bit, sort of, kind of.
I mean, no, like it's just funny though. Like now we're both pushing 30, so like not that you want Tom to go, but like you're not like again, we were 20 years old when Tom came back. Like after
Yeah.
again 4 years of like, yeah, no, there's never gonna be Toonami again. We've grown up, and that was, in my opinion, enough time to kind of move on a little.
A little.
Like a little. Well, because like 4 years, that was a lot of time.
Yeah,
You know,
true.
again, especially as we're younger and we're going from high school to college.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we're 20 years old, and Tom's like, "Hey, man, I'm almost 21 too. Let's go drink."
Yeah, let's go have a beer and watch some anime.
Because I
And I
remember
was like, hell yeah.
because at the time when Toonami came back, you were in a very interesting, unique position in your life, and this is stuff that I can say because you've said it before. When Toonami would air from 12, they would technically air from 12 to 6 a.m.
Right.
They don't do that shit anymore. But what they
Yeah.
did do was, and this was actually very important, they would air from 12 to 6, but really it was 12 to 3.
3,
And
and they
then,
reran the block from 3 to 6.
and for you, your job at the time, you worked
Yeah.
late. So you actually would catch Toonami on the 3 to 6 a.m. block.
Yep.
One of two things happened. Either you worked late or you were hanging out with some of our friends, our
Yeah.
mutual friends. And so whichever one, you just knew, you know what, I'm going to be back by 3.
Yeah.
And now we can watch Toonami.
Yep.
Me at the time, I didn't appreciate Toonami the way I do now. What I should have been doing at the time, till now, which I do now, was just use my DVR for every little thing. But
Right.
I think even as early as like 2012, 13, I'm sorry, as recent 2012, 13, and 14, I didn't have a DVR. We
Right.
were very late on getting a DVR, like to the point where I told my mom, I could swear to God, it was in the mid 2010s. You know, we could pay a little bit extra on cable to record this stuff, right? And she was like, "Really?" As if that it would just never occurred to her that it even existed as a feature.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I got that until late too. So.
Yeah, but now that I have it, it's so cool because I'm either caught up on the block or literally Kill la Kill is still on my DVR from when it aired on Toonami.
Oh my god.
It's
Right.
one of the two.
Yep.
But no, I gotta say, anyone who says, "Oh no, new Toonami hasn't been good," I don't know what to tell you. They have aired some fucking amazing shows. Looking back here, and we really are gonna wrap this up soon. But I have to name a few bangers here. You have, you have One Piece twice. You have Naruto. You have Naruto Shippuden. You have Bleach. They finished Bleach on this block.
Yeah.
You have Space Dandy. You have all of Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Yes. Even though it's not what I'm about to tell you is not like the best of the best, I really enjoyed for what it was. Dead Man Wonderland.
Yeah. No, I did too. I definitely watched its run on Toonami.
Yeah, just for what it was.
Yeah.
Also, they aired Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood on Toonami.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah. They aired Soul Eater, which I forgot about because that was in 2013.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely saw a bunch of that too.
I've heard great things about it, and some fun facts, nothing related to this, but it's still fucking cool, dude. Soul Eater games on the DS and the PS2 that we never got recently got fan translated. So they're in English now. That's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Also, they aired Clone Wars again and The Big O. They've aired Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah. Oh, that was another big staple for a while. Like Cowboy Bebop and Ghost in the Shell were always like the go-tos.
Oh, of course. They aired Black Lagoon on the... Is that how you got into Black Lagoon or no?
Yes, it was.
Wow.
I was watching Black Lagoon when I'd get back from work.
So that's really funny because that started in 2014. They started airing that. So now that's 8 years ago. Because it was March 2020, March 22nd of 2014 is when it started on the block. So literally a little over 8 years ago.
Yeah.
But what's funny to me though is the fact that I had already seen it. So you're like, dude, have you heard? And I'm like, yes, it's fucking tastic.
Yeah, where the fuck have you been? I'm like,
Beware the Batman also aired. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I only heard of it recently because a friend of mine, she was like, you gotta watch Beware the Batman. Oh, and I remember when they were first going to start bringing it, it was me and Anthony, an older contributor of the podcast and the gaming channel that we do, Those Guys Play. I remember he and I were talking about it out on his college campus, like as it was the new show coming up for Batman.
Right.
That was a long time ago. That was even before Toonami came back. Also, they aired Inuyasha The Final Act.
Yeah.
And now they air Yashahime. At least they aired most of it. Also, Parasite. And I'm a little embarrassed that I'm seeing Parasite here start in 2015 because I finished that on my DVR. I remember it started in 2015. I finished that on my DVR like maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That was on my DVR for... Oh, God. Michiko and Hachin also started on 2015.
Yeah.
That's still on my DVR.
Yep.
I have like half the season to go. Akame ga Kill.
Yeah.
Kill la Kill. Samurai Champloo. I finished that during the pandemic. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure started airing officially in the US as well as One Punch Man.
Right. Oh, wow. Yeah.
I cannot imagine someone saying that this block hasn't been good.
Yeah.
This is... look, someone's going to kill me for this. Please actually don't. Like, please seriously spare me for saying this. I think this block might even be better only because of how long it's been around than the original block.
That is a hill.
Look, if it only
lasted... It's a hill that you will be killed on.
Because guess what? If someone says...
No, I get where you're coming from.
If someone tells me the original block had Dragon Ball Z, technically so did this block, and it had Super. So...
True. Yeah. Yeah, no, like, I think it boils down to the fact of, like you said, like, the new run of Toonami has now been on longer than the original
Yes. Run. If they both were around the same time, it would be hard to say.
Right.
Like I'd really have to go to the nitty gritty here and pick apart each show.
But like we've had some real bangers in the
And
last
yeah,
handful of years.
and they did something that original Toonami didn't always have the chance to do, is finish these shows.
Right.
Not every
Yeah.
show is finished, to be fair. I
Yeah.
know like Boruto, they are not seemingly bringing it back because it's still airing in Japan,
Right.
but Boruto hasn't been on. I don't think they're gonna get the next season of Demon Slayer because now it's in Sony's hands. So I don't think they're gonna.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know if they're gonna get part 6 of JoJo.
Yeah.
But also technically it's its own season, so like it's related to the other parts, but like they still didn't like pull part 5 while it was airing or something.
Yeah.
Um,
They did get to finish each season of JoJo that they got it, or
yeah.
each part of JoJo that they got.
Also, speaking of
They
good,
got it later than streaming services, yes, but
yeah, but maybe they don't get part 6, which would suck. But again, talking about some
yeah.
other great shows that they've gotten: The Promised Neverland,
Yes, yeah.
Lupin the Third, future parts, because of course Lupin the Third was also a staple back in the day. Funnily enough, Deej, I didn't know this. They actually are a fan of Lupin from back in the day. They watched it on Toonami back in the day.
Oh shit,
And I
nice.
was like, what, really? And they were like, yeah. And so me, them, and their partner actually ended up watching part 4, not the whole thing, but the first episode. And they were enamored with the artwork. And I was like, I told you, it looks so good.
Yeah.
So I want to watch some more part 4 with them because I want to finish part 4 as well because I have part 5 on my DVR and part 6 is going to be airing. Actually, I
Yeah,
think it
part 6
aired.
is starting up.
I think it started tonight. I hope I got it
Right.
on my DVR. I think it started tonight. Yeah, or at least 2 nights ago. But by the time we're recording this, it'll be last week by the time this is out. But no, there are some really good shows that have aired. I'm not saying everything is of high standards of quality, but definitely because of its length, we've gotten some of the old shows and even finished some shows that it's just absurd that we would ever finish. And it's just been overall, we shouldn't really turn it into a old block versus new block. We should turn it into just Toonami as a whole has been
Yeah.
fantastic for what it's done.
Yeah.
It is not unique in what it's done, but it's done it very, very well.
Yeah.
And even though now it might
And
seem a little archaic in a world with streamers and
yeah.
YouTubers,
Yeah.
still, I think for people who are in our age range, which are people who just don't have the fucking time to watch these while they
As
air.
they come out. Yeah.
I'm being serious when I say that Assassination Classroom and Made in Abyss are new to me. I know
Right.
what they were. Like
Yeah.
I knew that, but Assassination Classroom aired in Japan. I don't know when it hit streaming, but it aired in Japan 2015, and Made in Abyss was 2017, and yet they were new to me. So
Yeah.
I do think that there is a place for Toonami. I hope Toonami isn't going anywhere. I don't think it is. I think that, I understand why some people get worried and nervous, but I don't know. I feel like you, at least when it comes to this, don't focus on the numbers too much. Just take a sigh of relief and breathe over the fact that, you know what? We got the Absolution back, which is nice. And
Yeah.
every week you have some fun shows to watch.
Yeah. I mean, shit, this is the 25th anniversary. Never thought we'd get to this point.
No, I thought if you would have asked me in 2006, remember it's still on the air, in
Yeah.
2006, what do you think we'd be talking about in 2022? I'd be like, oh shit, we lived that long?
Yeah.
And then I would have been like, how Toonami died 16 years earlier, because I would have
Yeah.
assumed it would have died in like '06, but no, it went from it went to '08. But like, man, that changed the Tom. I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it. But
I hated
what I can tell you is that I knew that it was the death of Toonami.
it. He did still have some very good inspirational speeches, which I'm glad they kept those.
Well, yeah, Blum is fantastic.
Yeah. And that's always been a nice little thing that Tom has done. Like aside from like the game reviews here and there too, those were fun back in the day. I think they actually started bringing those back too.
Oh yes, they have. But we're really gonna wrap this up. And before we do, I gotta say, okay, Tristan, I gotta say,
Uh-huh.
here is the block as a time capsule. Here is what is airing right now. If you're one
Right.
day watching this, maybe 25 years in the future.
When Tom just shoots out of a wormhole, he's like, "All right, what decade are we in, Sarah?"
Oh God, Shenmue, Attack on Titan. Wow, Attack on Titan. That really just hit me. I forgot that it's back.
Yeah.
Assassination Classroom, Lupin the Third Part 6, 2 episodes of One Piece, Naruto Shippuden, and Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah,
Wow.
and that's still a cool. That's One Piece is back now. Like, never thought that was we were gonna get to that point again
it's
either.
it's so funny. There's so many people that are like, "Oh, I don't care," and it's like that's awesome. Then you don't have to watch, and like you have time.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
at this point in our lives, I don't know about these people, but I can just say to you and I, at this point in our lives, if we don't have to watch something, that's okay.
Yeah.
We have
I'm
time to
still.
watch more shit or play video games or do anything
Yeah.
else.
And like, I'm still happy. Maybe there are people who, aren't caught up on it or don't have the streaming service that they can watch it on. Maybe there's still people that look to this block to be like, "Hey, I get to watch this here." And if I'm sure there are, I'm happy for them. I'm happy that Toonami's still around just as a thing. It's just kind of comforting to know that it's still a part of the universe in the back of my mind, even if I'm not able to watch it week to week.
Hey everyone, my name is Matt. I'm one of those people.
Shut up.
I am.
I know.
Or again, I just don't have the time, so seeing it weekly on this block is just easy enough for me to digest.
Right.
Where I can read the manga with the Shonen Jump app, get caught up, and then watch the episodes on my DVR, and just have them on in the background.
Yeah.
But no, I am one of those people, all jokes aside, to a certain extent. I do have a friend of mine, literally, I will not reveal her name, but I will reveal this joke because it was funny and she'd want me to say it. She was just like, yeah, I do have the streaming service if you, like, want me to hook you up. And I was like, yeah. And she was just like, yeah, I'll be your sugar mama. And I was like, okay. I'll take it.
I'll be your sugar mama. Only Toonami.
And on that note, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you for 25 years. Jason DeMarco, Tom, now that credits are rolling, Sarah, every actor who has been a part of Toonami, anyone who's ever done any freaking artwork, designs,
Yeah.
anyone who worked on those games back in the day, literally it's down to the coders. I want to fucking thank all of you for making Toonami what it is today. Love you all who listened in for an hour and 40 some odd minutes. Thank you so much for giving us your time. Love you all. Take care. And tune in next time for something completely different. Love you all. Take care. And see ya.
I still love this job.